If you're someone who has to go and talk to a lot of people in meetings and share what you're working on, either in the form of a demo or slides, or the way you actually make progress on your project is by sharing lots of Zoom clips and video clips with your teammates about the progress that you've made during the day, this template called Meeting Recaps is going to make your life 10 times easier, and more importantly, for the people who need to reproduce what you're trying to teach them or show them, it will be 5 times easier than diving in to a video call and picking out that moment where they're trying to figure out how to reproduce the steps that you took. Here's a deep dive into how to set up meeting recaps in Hinto. So first you want to create a project. From here, select the meeting recaps option, and you want to give it a name like My Calls. I'm going to select that this is in my personal workspace and tap Create. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to upload a video. Once the video starts uploading, you just sit back and relax. This could take a few minutes. It just depends on how long your video is. And once it's done, I'm going to kind of accelerate for just a second and be right back. So once your video finishes uploading, you're going to see a new screen. It's going to present you with 2 options. Here's the single page overview if you want to create that. This is great if you just want the essence of the call captured and the detailed walkthrough, let's say, in the meeting of it, but you don't really need any of the noise around everything else or more details, just a sort of artifact. Like imagine if there was a baseball card for your video call. This would be it, and it would have enough factual information there for you to just be able to recall all the steps and for your team to be able to sort of piece together what it was that you were talking about. Or there's the topic-based articles. This one is where there's a lot of context shared in a lot of multiple dimensions and lots of team members from different departments, and each one might need a separate version of a flow or different flows that you sort of were talking about through the process. So it's kind of more of a more comprehensive thing. I'm going to start by selecting the single page overview. Once you tap that, it's going to start generating itself. Now, everyone is busy, especially you, so I'm going to move on and just show you, once the report is ready, how it looks. So here we are inside of one of the articles. This is the one-pager, basically. At the very beginning, there's a small summary of the call. This is for everyone who kind of wasn't in there or doesn't remember too much. Then there's the context for the call itself, just if there needs to be a reminder. After that, there's a detailed walkthrough. This is when you were probably screen sharing and you were going through some kind of product experience. In my case, this was a demo of Hinto. And at the end, there is a question around FAQs, which were the questions that were actually asked during the call, some key takeaways, and a summary. And that's it. There's nothing else. It's super, super simple. And this is the artifact you want to send included with, here's a recap of the call, here's the recording, please watch it if you have time, which 90% of people probably don't. And then I'm going to show you the second thing that we started with, which is the deep dives. This is the comprehensive project sort of based document. As you can see, this one now has a table of contents. There's a meeting summary doc. There are a few capabilities that we discussed in our case about Hinto, the use cases for the partner and their requirements, and the pricing and the next setups. So these are all 4 different docs because our thinking is that in some departments, some might want access to the next steps, others might want to see just on the partners what's happening or the other departments, or others will want to just have the demo itself. So this is the beginning. This is the meeting summary. It's very, very clear that it's structured in a very kind of critical way around topics that were discussed, key takeaways, and other discussion points. And then here is sort of the demo itself, right? Again, the context, and then the detailed steps. Everything is written in a way where if you send this off, ideally the person on the receiving end will be able to fully reproduce everything that was shown, the Q&A that happened after, and the summary. And then in our case, there was a component of pricing, and we went into that as well. So when all of these are done, you can either add someone to this project by going into settings, permissions, and then adding them in here. You can also, if you have some more notes about this meeting or this partner or anything else, you can select add a single article, and you have a new option called blank article. Here you can give it a title like follow up thoughts. Let's say you put something together with ChatGPT about that, and then you can just copy paste and add the content here and then move it to the right area inside of this summary. And then you have a comprehensive sort of doc. And on top of all of that, we added a way for you to also be able to export it. We already had downloading the HTML, downloading the Markdown. Now we have this thing called PDFs, which were invented, believe it or not, in 1993, and still are used by, unfortunately, a huge amount of people because nothing else exists that's better. And then you start downloading it to your computer, and you can share it. The PDFs are very rich. They include here exactly what was inside of your project, but also include visuals for each section. And so then you have a comprehensive guide that you can send to someone else, or if you're getting on a plane with like a low-cost carrier and you don't want to pay for the Wi-Fi, you have access to it that way too. And that's a deep dive into meeting recaps. This is still in beta, so please share any thoughts, comments, or feature requests with us directly or in a comment channel below. Thanks.